Hello all and welcome to part 2 of creating our angel. It's the final part. In part 1 you would have created her head and her little arms and about a quarter of the dress, and then I asked you to head off on your own and finish it off, and then meet me back here and do the last few rounds for the little base of the dress, the closing rounds if you will. Now in this particular tutorial, heads up, when I starched these wings here, silly me, there's two things I needed to tell you. One, you needed a smaller glass. I put this on a glass, but the glass was too wide and it pushed her dress up too high. You kind of needed something that was more pointed rather than having that there, because I couldn't attach the wings very well. I did some sort of a job at attaching the wings. It's not a very good job. So if you find a sort of a glass, or not even a glass, like a little rock that goes like that, so that way your dress doesn't stick out at the sides, it literally goes down like that, which is the way it should have gone. But it's okay for now. Mine I'm going to leave like this anyways. And the second little thing I did wrong was when I starched the pieces, which starched beautifully by the way, the product I used was great, but I put these on my blocking mat without putting a cling wrap down. And when that happened, have a close look, you can see part of the blue from the blocking mat came off onto my piece. So make sure you have a cling wrap down. And it happened to the other piece, but the other piece is on the back, so you can see it more at the back. So I left that one, which was darker, at the back. But I'm going to replace these two wings eventually anyways. All right, for this part here, once again, you'll just need one stitch marker. You'll need a little bit of your thread, not much, to do the wings. And you will need quite a lot of the gear that you're going to see within the tutorial. And some of it is a thing called glue. It's actually called glue. It's called glue or fabric glue or a stiffener glue, whichever you want to use. Now, if you have another version of starching your products, you can use your version. But this one here is specifically made for, and it says it right here, fabric, works on fabric, lace and bows. And this is actually a lace. All right, so keep in mind that you can use whatever product you have. This is the gear I've used. We get that here in our larger chain Spotlight here at Australia. Now, I don't know what you have in your country, but anything that's a starch or says the word starch on it, or a fabric stiffener glue or anything that says that. Now, you could water it down if you didn't want yours so stiff, but I wanted mine nice, and look, it's not moving when I'm squashing it. I'm squashing it with my hand, so I like mine to be nice and firm. All right, so you'll need that. You'll need these guys or some sort of rust-proof pins. Don't use pins that are going to leave rust stains on your piece. All right, just heads up there. So as many as you can to fit your pieces, and you are literally only pinning these guys down, and you're pinning this guy right here. There, you see up on the screen, you're doing that as well. Now, we did that at the beginning of the week last week. If you wanted to create the star, then you can create that. The link to the star is in the description box down below, or the more section down below. All right, so that's all you'll pretty much need: your scissors and a sewing needle to sew your wings to the back of the head there. The other thing is, I had a lot of trouble sewing my wings here because I left the spaces here for these little pieces to go into. But because I ended up doing that big lump here around here where the glass was, and it's not thinner up the top, I couldn't work the wings to the head properly. It was too high. If you had yours where it goes down further and not so pointy here, your wings can drop a little bit and they'll be a lot better than mine. All right, so make sure you got all the gear to start with. Head off and create part 2, the final part of your angel. Good luck all. Alrighty guys, where I left you off in part 1, I asked you to repeat that round with the 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then so on all the way in the round 2 more times, and then meet me back here at part 2, which is where we are right now. All right, and your dress should look something like that when you lay it out flat. It's still a little bit distorted. We're working on that. These arms, they're going to come in at this tutorial as well, so don't be surprised if it doesn't look right yet. It will. All right, so you're going to slip stitch into the stitch with your stitch marker, pull a loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Remove your stitch marker. Now this round is going to change. This is a second last round, and then we'll do another round. So you're still going to slip stitch across into the space. So 1, 2, and into the space 3. Okay, so chaining 1, 2, and 3. Stitch marker in there. So that hasn't changed. Okay, classifies as a double crochet in this round. Yeah. Then you're putting another double crochet right there. All right, I keep coming out of frame, so I'm just going to bring that down a little bit. There we go. So now you've got that chain 3 acts as 1 double crochet. You've got a second double crochet. Now we are doing a third double crochet in the space. All right, just as though we're doing a normal corner, except now we're no longer chaining. We're going to make a treble. A double crochet is yarn over your hook once. All right, a treble US or double treble UK is yarn over your hook twice. So once and twice. You've got 2 loops on your hook. Then you jump into the space, pull a loop through. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops. Yarn over, pull through the first 2. You have 3 loops left. Yarn over, pull through the next 2. You have 2 loops left. Yarn over, pull through the last 2. Then you're going to do another 3 double crochets in that space. So 1, 2, there's a normal double crochet US treble UK, and 3. Chain 1, go into the very next space, doing exactly the same thing. So in this round, all you're doing is replacing that chain 1 space to a treble. Okay, so you jump straight into the space, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Treble, yarn over your hook twice, in the space, pull a loop through, 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2, 3 double crochets. Normal double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, repeat. Now I'm going to have to fix this up because I've pulled a thread there. But what I want you to do, which is very simple now, very simple. Let's move that. 3 double crochets, 1 treble, 3 double crochets in the center, chain 1, jump straight into the next center, 3 double crochets, 1 treble, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and so on. So what I'm going to do is let you head off on your own and complete this round. When you complete this round, meet me back here and we will do our final round for the angel's dress. All right, that's a time you can go to if you've forgotten what you need to do. Complete the round with using that time right there. Meet me back here once you get to the last set and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, so here we are at the end of the round. Now you'll notice that it's starting to kind of close a little bit, tighten up a bit, and so it's almost sitting like, looks like it's wrong, but it's not wrong. Once you wash and starch your angel, it will sit perfectly. All right, so let's move right along. Where am I? Here I am. So I've done my 3 double crochets, 1 treble, 3 double crochets, and I'm going to chain 1 and then slip stitch into the stitch with your stitch marker, pull the loop through, and this time we're going to change the pattern completely. We're going to chain 1 and we're going to do a single crochet in that same stitch. Now that single crochet US, double crochet UK, you know how to do them because we made them with the head up the top, but let's show you anyway. So it's a single crochet in the same stitch that you are in. pop your hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both those loops, grab your stitch marker. Now this round is very basic, and it's the final round too. And it's all about count, and it's a basic count. This is your first single crochet. Don't forget to get right into that next single crochet. It might be tight and you may miss it, so don't miss it. 2 and 3. So that's your 3 across. Now you've come to that big treble stitch from the previous round. You're going to pop a single crochet in the top of that. Chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and another single crochet in the same stitch. So if you were to pull it up a little bit, you would get a slight gap. All right, so what we're going to do is do just that. 3 single crochets down, 1, 2 and 3. We're going to ignore the chain, jump into the first double crochet right there, and you can see the stitch. It's a little awkward. Okay, that's your treble. That's your 1, 2 and 3. All right, so be wary, it's a little awkward. So you're skipping that chain, you're jumping in that first stitch of the double crochet, and you're doing 1, 2, 3, and in your treble you're doing exactly what we did here. Single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and single crochet, all in the same stitch, or all in your treble. Yeah, now once again, 3 down. This is how basic this round is. All you need to remember is 3 down, 3 up, and a single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, all in the same treble. Okay, so you've gone 3 down, you're skipping your chain, you're going into that first stitch, 1, 2, 3, okay, and in that top stitch there you're doing your single, chain 1, 2, 3 and single. I like to call this round, we'll do 3 down, 1, 2 and 3 first. I like to call this round 3, 3, 3. So if you were to think about it, you're doing 3 down, 3 up, single crochet, 3 chain, single in the top, again 3 down, 3 up, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet in the top, and that is pretty much all you are doing in your round. All right, so all I want you to do is that. If you're not sure how to do this, I'll take you right back to, well, down to this section here, and I'll give you the time up there now. You can probably see it, and it shows you how to do those next 2 sets. All right, so go back to this time. You can do the rest of your round. When we return, we're going to work on my original, which is used the thinner cotton. Okay, you guys have used your 4-ply, maybe you might have used another ply as well, but I've used a really thin 50 micro cotton because I want my angel to look soft and elegant. All right, so when we return, we're going to finish our angel using my original. All right, so continue in this round, get to this stitch marker here, go to that time right now, and I'll meet you back here once you're done. Alrighty, so here we go, guys. I haven't starched it yet. It's just kind of sitting that way because that's the kind of material it is. But this is the original that I'm working on, all right? And what you would have done in this round is single 3 up, single crochet, chain 3, single in the top stitch, and then single 3 down. Skip the chain, single 3 up, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet in the top stitch, and then single down all the way in the round. You would have gotten to, and it's been here a while, so I'm caught up. And I've been still using, look how much of this cotton I still have left. So I've got plenty of cotton for more if I wanted to do another 1 or 2 or whatever. We're going to slip stitch into the stitch with your stitch marker, pull a loop through, remove that tight stitch marker, pull up your loop, and cut your work. Now make sure you check that your round is perfect here. Yes, or as close to it as you can get. Mine's perfect, which is good. You might find that it sticks up a little. That is normal. What you're going to do now is grab your sewing needle and you are going to sew in this last thread. Really important now to finish off because we are going to be fixing the sleeves in a minute. And then we're going to be doing the wings. So it's very exciting. Now that's the right side of our work. Turn it over, grab your needle, and I like to pop my needle down the back. I call it the neck of the last stitch. Yeah, pop it down there and pull that thread right through, and it takes a knot with you so you can't really see it. All right, and it's not finished there, guys. You need to weave this end in. So find some stitching that you can weave through. Just check the front, make sure you can't see the needle, and I can see it a little bit right there. Oh, it's not too bad. It's way at the back there, you can't notice it. All right, so check the front, make sure you can't see it. Didn't affect anything, which is good. And then you're just finding some stitches to go into anywhere you like. Again, checking the front. Gorgeous. Now pull that thread through like so. Guess what? You're going to turn it over and you're going to go back, but you're going to skip the stitch and go into another stitch and try going through those stitches there, like so. All right, so guess what? You're done with that. That is it for the dress. Isn't this exciting? That is the dress. Now, for those of you whom did those extra 2 rounds, your little angel would be a lot longer. Oh, it's too close now. Sorry about that. Your little angel would be a lot longer. The dress would be a lot longer, but I'm happy with this length for my tree. All right, because I do have a small tree after all. All right, so at the moment, she actually stands up, this one here. The original that we've been working on kind of doesn't stand up because it's that kind of cotton. Whereas this one here is a little bit more of a, it's thin cotton, but it's a dense cotton. And we still need to starch it because I want her to be able to stand up nicely. All right, so we're going to starch it. And we're also going to be doing her little sleeves here, yes, and her wings. All right, so let's get started on that. Alrighty guys, to make the angel's wings, we're going to make a slip knot. Just grab the tail end of your yarn, wrap it around your finger once or twice. Give yourself a nice tail for weaving in. Now pass your back loop halfway over your finger, hold it there, pass the other loop all the way over, pop your hook in and give everything a tug. Now I'm rushing this because it's fairly simple. Okay, what we're going to do is chain 7. Yarn over your hook once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. All right, so now you're going to do a single crochet right in the very next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. All right, but in that very last stitch, when you put your single crochet, you're going to make 7 single crochets, all in the last stitch. So single 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Just grabbing that little tail and pulling it at the back a little so it's out of your way. Now you're not going to turn, you're going to work along these stitches here. So try and find that very next stitch. Don't miss it, it'll be there somewhere. It's a bit tight for me. So you're single crocheting 4 across. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. And we're not going to work on those stitches. Chain 1, turn your work. So now you're single crocheting in the very next stitch, but you're doing 4 across. So 1 single crochet, 1 into the next, 2, 1 into the next, 3, 1 into the next, 4. Now we're going to put 2 single crochets into each of the next 5 single crochets. So 1 and 2 into the first one, 1 and 2 into your second one, 1 and 2 into your third, 1 and 2 into your fourth. Just move your tail, yep. If you can get into that fifth one, 1, which is very tight for me, and 2 into your fifth stitch. All right, single crochet in every stitch across. So you just go 1, 2, 7, and when you get here you chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, turn your work. Single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches or 2 chains, 1 and 2, and then you single crochet into the next stitch, and it's 1 and the next one 2 and the next one 3, and again 4, and just keep going in the round, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I can get in there, 12, that looks really tight, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And you wouldn't have finished the section, okay? Chain 1, turn, single crochet in the next 4 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches, 1 and 2 in your first one, 1 and 2 in your second one, 1 and 2 in your third, 1, 2 in the fourth, 1 and 2 in your fifth, and then you slip stitch to join in that last stitch there. Pull up a loop. Believe it or not, that is the end of your first wing. All right, so it should look something like that. Now we're going to close up that gap. It doesn't really matter anyway because it's going to be starched, right? But we are going to close it up, but that's your first wing. All right, here's the original. All right, that's the smaller one, small version. Okay, so that's your first. Oh, not even in frame. That's the smaller version. Okay, so you need to make yourself a second one exactly like that. Meet me back here in a moment. We'll weave in some ends and we will talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, so here we are. Before we start starching our piece, we want to close these little arms. So thread a needle. I did that off air because I always find that dramatic, trying to thread the needle. And what you want to do is, you remember these little, let's move that out the way. Remember these little cluster sets here, right there. Yeah. What we want to do, and it's anywhere you want, it doesn't matter, okay? What you want to do is grab your sewing needle and see these little points, 1, 2, 3, yeah? You want to pop your sewing needle in the first stitch of just before the point of that set. We did a whole set of single crochet and the rest of it, yeah? So pop your needle in there like that. Now I haven't got a knot, I don't think. Let's pull that through for a minute. There's no knot there. We can knot that later, right? So pop your needle in there, yeah? And then I want you to go over, turn over, right? This is where you came through, yeah? I want you to skip that one point, that second point, go to the third point, and pop your needle after the point in the stitch there. And I'm just going to do this like that. Now grab that little thread that you started off with, hold it in your hand and grab that there, and it's closed it up for you. So what I want you to do is go back into the stitches that you just went in. So you're going over, back into the stitch where this thread is, and then back into the stitch where the other thread is. And all you're doing is a single knot, making sure you're not knotting that. Oh, what have I done? I've put it around the whole dress. Excuse me, don't do that. There. So she's got a little armhole right there, and you want to do it just one more time back in there. Don't do what I just did. Yeah, like that. Like that. All right. Then all I want you to do is turn your work, pop your thread through the back somewhere, just into the back of any stitch there, like so. And you're going to weave that thread in through any stitch at the back, underneath your little arm, right there. Just this last thread, yeah, there. And you can go anywhere you want on the inside of her arm, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be noticed. Just go one way, yep, and then gently go back in the opposite direction that you just came from, like so, and just pull it through like that. Now you don't need to do much because that will now stay in place once you starch it, it won't move. So cut it, do the other arm exactly the same, and then you've got the two. What I want you to do though is to rethread this piece here and do exactly the same. Pop the thread through the next stitch under here and weave it in. I'm not going to let you watch me do that. I'm going to do that off air. I'm going to do the opposite arm off air, and it can be anywhere. You don't have to fuss too much. If you want to make sure the stitches, the points are the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of thing, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, you know, how many you have. Make sure they're even there and then just have 3. Now, if you're one more, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be noticed, all right? So go ahead and do the opposite side, 1, 2, 3, exactly the same way we did this. Weave this tail in and weave the tails in from here. Meet me back here once you're done and we will starch our pieces. Alrighty guys, I don't know if I can fit all this in, but we're going to do it in batches anyway. We've now completed her wings. Make sure you have sewn in all her little tails, yeah? And get yourself a small bowl because we're only going to be popping her in there like that. She's only going to be getting wet from there downwards. Her head is not getting wet, and all you need to do is scrunch it up when we put the fabric glue in there, yeah? And then you're going to put these guys in there as well. Now I've got a towel so I don't mess up my board here, but there you go. All I'm doing is that piece, and the star. All right, so there's your star. Okay, so let's not worry too much about the star yet. We're going to work firstly just with the dress and her little wings first, and then we're going to pop them all on the board real quickly. and the blocking mat, and just leave them there until we soak all the pieces. And then we're just going to squeeze them all out and then pin them down to the mat. So let's just start by putting our little fabric. It's a stiffener glue or a starching glue if you want. Now know that it's actually, this one here is actually supposed to be for, where is it? It says it here, for fabric, lace and bows. So it keeps it together. If you want it to not be so hard, then you can add water, but it doesn't need water. You just use it in the little basin, whatever you have, a basin, if you've got one available. You pop your guy in, you squeeze him all out, and then you pop him on the blocking mat. So take off your lid and just pop your glue in there. Put as much as you want, being careful not to overfill it because you only want to fill the dress. You don't want her head to go in there, okay? And I would actually, like that, I would actually work on the dress first and just pop it in like so. And all you're doing is drenching her little dress, yeah, and her arms. You want to do that as well. You don't want her head to be drenched, and just give it a squeeze. You don't want her head wet at all. Now we're going to separate all that in a minute. And then just give it a squeeze to get as much of the glue out as possible. All right, I'm just going to leave it there for a minute, and I'm going to grab the blocking mat and just pop it on the blocking mat for a minute. So give it a squeeze for now. Really good squeeze. And then pop her wings in and do the same with her wings. We might need a bit more for the star. We'll see. We might not. It's all over my hands. We're going to fix them all up in a minute, but just like that for now. And we're going to need more for the star. Okay. And then pop the star in. And once again, you are literally filling it up completely with the glad. Don't rub too much with this star because that fluff is coming out. I can feel it coming out as we speak. But you want to drench it, yeah? Make sure that your star is drenched. If you're going to use the star or the angel, whatever. Sorry about my big hands in the way there, guys. I'm really sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to leave that there for now, just for a second. We're going to transition so that I can clean up a little bit here. And when we come back, we'll start working with the mat and the glass, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. All right, now for this part here, you need to have some rust-proof pins. Now, I don't know if I have any, so I'm going to use these pins. They came with the mats like this, the other mats that I used to have, and I know for a fact that these do not rust, so they will be okay. But if you use a normal pin, it's likely that it's going to rust. So make sure they're rust proof and the best you can. So what we're going to do is grab a glass. Now I'll just show you what I did with this glass right here. Do not use a wide glass. Try to find something with a peak or a long slender neck, as my dress worked out too wide. This is probably too wide. If you have a smaller glass, have a look at how wide that glass is. All right, it's like the palm of my hand. It's way too wide, but I don't have anything thinner, so I'm going to use this. You could find a rock in the backyard if you like. A skinnier glass would be better. And again, this is kind of, look at the size of that. It's really big, but that's all I've got, and that's what I'm going to use. Now pop cling wrap over it so that you don't damage your glass. I believe they sort themselves out anyway, so don't stress too much. Now, I hope I haven't left this there for too long. And all you're going to do is open up her dress, and what you want to do is pop it on the glass the way you want it to sit on your tree. Now, if you want it to sit wide on your tree, then do that. But if you want it to sit thinner, like I do, because my tree is a little bit smaller, I'm going to close down everything and try and get it down, get those points right down. See the points? Bring them right down. And this will dry exactly the way we're pulling it. So just know that that will dry the way you are pulling it. Okay, so if you don't pull it the way you want it pulled, then your piece is not going to dry the way you want it to dry. Now I've popped a lot of this stuff in, so it's going to be super thick, or super stiff if you will. Now with the sleeves, see the sleeves you've got there? All I did, get her sleeve and open it up like so on both sides, and the base part of the dress, I might have to pop this on fast, hey? Not yet, see how we go. And the base part of this area here, you want to bring that down a little bit so it stretches down a little bit. You don't have to, but I like it, it gives it a good look. And then just open up her sleeves a little bit that way. Not point them up, bring them out that way, because the wings are going to be attached at the back and we want to be able to see the wings. So point them outwards like that. That's her sleeves. All right. Now keep adjusting the way you want it to sit, because remember, this is the way it's going to sit once it dries up. All right. There. Now what you want to do, move that over and work on the wings. And with the wings, what you're going to do is stretch it right out. Actually, you should have put some cling wrap down on your mat. I didn't do it. I'm going to have a real sticky mat now. Doesn't matter. And then stick it down. I'm just going to have to do it now because I'm done. Move it over because you're going to be putting the star there as well. We've got our star to do if you've done the star. And again, if you haven't done the star, we've got a link to the star in the description box down below. So you can have a choice of creating the star or the angel for your Christmas tree. Yeah. I'm just going to pop as many in as I can. All right, so that's your wing. Do the other wing in a minute, but I'm going to do the star for you. So for those of you who have the star, I want you to do the star. So all I want you to do with the star is simply that. We might need to move it up a little. All right, guys, so that's as best as I can do, to be fair. I'm going to clean up now because I've made an absolute mess and, you know, the glue is sticking to me and everything. And I got some on my board, which made me very unhappy. But that's me. You don't have to worry about that. But everything's ready to dry. Now, Melbourne's weather today is so hot, so I'm going to pop these outside to dry, and they will dry a lot quicker. And what I might do is take some of it off there and pop the big one on it, so that I can pop that there. I want all the sides to be filled in. All right, fill in all your sides, leave it out to dry, and I'll meet you back in a few seconds for you, but maybe 24 or 48 hours for me. Alrighty guys, so here we are a day later. So there you go, that's all our gear. Now I did mention to you guys to make sure you put cling wrap on your blocking mat, and I'll show you why, because I have a feeling, it's so hard to come out now, that this is going to have trouble getting off my mat. Don't you love it? Blooper. You can't plan that. You can't, look at this. I can't get it out. Oh, look at that. The blue from there came off on it. Well, that's going to have to be the back. All right, so can't get it off the mat. Hang on a sec. Here we go. This is hilarious. I can't get it off the mat. That goes to show how stiff this is. So starch works really well, guys. So there are the wings. The wings are there. The wings are there. All right, so let's put the wings away. Let's get on with this girl right here. Now, lucky for us, we've got a bit of cling wrap on this glass, which I should have put cling wrap on the mat. I don't know how I'm going to get the star off, but anyway. So let's just see how this goes at coming off the mat. I'm off the glass. There you go. That worked because we had cling wrap. It was a little bit crooked. There we go. There she goes. That's it. Let's move that glass out the way. How gorgeous is that? Now, this is why I said it would have been better with a smaller glass, because this is really too wide for my liking, yeah? And it would have been less if the glass was a lot smaller and it dried like that. How gorgeous is that? Now, if you find the head too wobbly, you can always add some more fluff. There's more space in there to add more fluff if you want, but that's fine. Now, let's try and get this off. Oh, it's not too bad. Oh, this one's not bad, and I'll tell you why, because the piece is a lot thicker. Yeah, those pieces were too small. The wings were way too small. Yeah. Oh, we're struggling still. Oh, here we go. There's one that struggles. This is hilarious. Oh, this one's not dried enough. I'm going to leave it there to dry that one, but the rest are dry. Yeah. So let's move that out the way. All right, so attaching our wings, you can attach them any way you like. Initially, the bases of those little things were supposed to go in a basis of that, and then we could attach the back of the angel to the back of her head, which is what I wanted to do, but they kind of point out a bit that way, and I wanted them to go this way. So all I'm going to do is forget about popping them in the grooves there and just attach with the sewing thread at the back of the head there. Now, you can either do both of them together, whatever it is, or you can do them separately. Now, I'm going to do mine separate, but it would pay for you to do them together, all right? So what you do is you find the top part of, oh, I'm so far away, sorry guys. Find the top part of where you want her to go, and then you position her first, all right? So position her wherever you want it to go. It's hard with the needle in it. Let me pull the needle out again, just a little bit out, a little bit out. And it might actually pay, you know what? Let's do it this way. Let's pop a stitch marker so we know where to pop the needle in later, all right? So find a place where you want your, let's try that again. Find a place where you want the wings to go, there, like so, whichever way you want them to go, right? I'm gonna leave it like that. And then just grab your stitch marker and then pop it in the head at the back. There. And now I'll know to turn it around and work that way. All right, so grab your needle and thread your little angel at the back. Yeah, and just thread it through. Any one of the holes at the back, it doesn't matter. Yeah, as long as it's high up. Don't thread it down the base, just high up. And then you thread it right through that. And you can actually change it to suit as well. Thread it through where you pop your stitch marker. You can change it, yeah. I haven't knotted my piece because I know that, don't mind this mark. These marks were from the mat. Don't mind that. Now, this is what happens when you don't put cling wrap on it. It's at the back, so that's why I mentioned for you guys to pop cling wrap on it. All right, see if it's in the right position, like that. Once you get it in a spot where you want it to go, again, it's your wings. You can put them anywhere you like. Once you get them in a spot that you like, that's where you can now thread. All right, you've gone through once already. Just keep going through. Hang on, we're already in that one, so let's go back in that one. there, like that, and back through the head. Maybe, hopefully it worked. Oh, it did. There you go. Right back through the head, like so. Oh, that's too high. Come on, Mary, you can do this. All right, and find the hole. Oh my gosh, I can see it. It's there. And do that. All right, so keep doing it until yours is adjusted properly. You can find another hole. It doesn't have to go in the same hole, like that. All right, and through the head as well, just so you can keep it in place. Once you get it in place, you thread it the way you want, and don't get it caught up here like I've done. Excuse me, Mary. Don't get it caught up. And you don't have to overdo it, really. Oh, it's a bit too high. You don't have to overdo it, just enough for it to stay in place. When you've got it all in place, you can tie it in a knot with the other thread. I'm so out of frame here, sorry guys. Just tie it in a knot at the back. Don't tangle everything up, Mary. Come on, you can do this. Tie it in a knot once, tie it in a knot a second time. I'm going to redo my angel, I think. Once you tie it in a knot, your wing is done. Now what I want you to do is head off on your own and do, upside down, and do your other wing. All right, now you might have to refix mine up. Might lower mine a bit more, it's a bit too high. I'm just gonna drop it down a little bit more off air. And when I come back, that should be down a little bit lower. Make sure yours is down lower. Mine's too high up. It should be down that little bit lower at the back. All right, so go ahead and do this wing properly, not like mine, and then do the second one, and then meet me back here and get ready for tryout. Alrighty guys, so there you have our little angel. To be fair, I wished I had done something about making it smaller up the top, not for the actual design, but you could have adjusted it over a glass. That is way too wide, and I had trouble attaching the wings. So I've mentioned that in the beginning of the tutorial anyways, and this lighting doesn't do it justice. There's the photo itself nice and close, and you can have a better look at it. So there you have it. All right, thank you very much for joining us here at Wow Crochet Designs, making our gorgeous angel. Don't forget, we have also created this gorgeous star right here. Simply divine. Don't you love it? Now you could either use this star as a Christmas tree topper or our gorgeous angel that we've created right here. All right. So thank you very much for joining us here at Wow Crochet Designs and creating our gorgeous angel. Don't forget to join us on our lives at 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoons, 10 a.m. Saturday mornings, Melbourne, Australia time. We have a lot of fun. Some of us are a bit silly, not me, but some of us are a little bit silly. Anyway, thanks for joining us. My name is Mary and this is Wow Crochet Designs. Ciao for now.